The word hijab comes from Arabic root word hajaba, which literally means concealing, screening, and protecting, and is used to refer to the code of dress for Muslim men and women. It is a manifestation of modesty or means by which to obtain modesty and inspire modesty in others. When a person is modest, they strive to cover their sins, their nudity, and their lust. As a result of their behavior, they also instill a sense of healthy guilt or shame in those around them. In Islam, modesty is mandated on both men and women, and this is very clear in the numerous verses of the Quran, which clearly mandated modesty first on men and then on women. To say that modesty is only article of faith for women but not men is clearly an injustice. And this was the case with many of the companions who felt a surge in their faith whenever they interacted with the Prophet ﷺ. He taught that vulgarity is not found in anything but that the grace is of it, and modesty is not found in anything but that it beautifies it. Prophet ﷺ was also a pinnacle of modesty himself. Uthman bin Affan was one of the most modest men during the Khair al-Qurun, and indeed he became famous because of this character. Actually, it is said that he was such intense modesty that Al-Hasan al-Basri said he, Uthman, would be in a house with the door closed and he would not take off his garment in order to pour water on himself, and modesty would prevent him from standing up straight. Some narrations also said that he would be so shy even to change his garments within the corners of his own room. Hazrat Anas bin Malik radiyallahu anhu relate that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that Uthman radiyallahu anhu is the most modest among his ummah. And even angels showed modesty in front of Uthman radiyallahu anhu. And we cannot forget the Quran where it says, O children of Adam, we have indeed sent down to you clothing to cover your shame, and clothing for beauty, and clothing that guard against evil, that is best. This is of the communications of Allah, that they may be mindful. This verse clearly defines that modesty cannot be gatekeeped to just Islam. Modesty was ordained on all children of Adam outside of Islam, to Christianity, Judaism, and non-Muslims. So why is it that I am coming across videos on this platform where we are saying that we are going to gatekeep modesty because, a'udhu billah, Allah has told us personally that we need to gatekeep it? Why and how and where are we finding this evidence from Quran or Sunnah? In the Emirates, where women dress in long flowing abayas, covering their heads and often covering their faces as well, men dress in long white thobes and also cover their heads. That's just one example among many throughout the Muslim world where the standard of dress for both men and women has been long and loose clothing covering most of their body. Some men, like the Tuareg in Mali, also cover their faces. And when you look across religions and cultures across the world, priests, monks, nuns, imams, and their followers, the dress is almost the same: loose, long, covered, and often unassuming. Modesty is not gender specific. So why and how and where now are we making modesty one gender specific when we are not supposed to, and it certainly is not backed up by the Sunnah of the Prophet? For example, a 3-day seminar with Sheikh Nuhamir Keller, may Allah preserve him, dictated for a particular dress code for those who come seek knowledge with him, both men and women. Once during a gathering, he told a man in the audience who was asking him a question that he ought to cover his head. Then he tossed him a kufi. He said that it did not befit the status of knowledge that one should have their head uncovered. Both Sheikh Rami Naur and Imam Zaid have suggested that Muslim men wear kufis in solidarity with Muslim women in the West. This is a valuable contribution to the relatively mute discussion on male modesty in the West. In fact, more Muslim men should be wearing modest clothing in the West, as this is a subject that is more of a valuable discussion online than gatekeeping modesty in general.